Last session we were discussing Abrahamic religions. Under that we discussed Judaism, Christianity and Islam. What I would be doing today is in fact looking at so far we discussed these three religions separately. Today I would like to outline some of the characteristics common to all Abrahamic religions. So we discussed Judaism, Christianity and Islam. The characteristics I will be discussing today will be common to all religions. Now, one of the main things is belief in one God, which is called monotheism. God is believed to be eternal, omnipotent, omniscient, and creator of the universe. God has holiness, justice, omnibenevolence, and omnipresence as properties. Although Christianity is monotheist, they believe that God is three: co-eternal, consubstantial, that means made of the same substance, hypostasis, underlying substance distinct from attributes, person of Jesus combining both divine and human characteristics. God is three persons but one substance. All three share the same essence, substance and being. Both Judaism and Islam reject this position. Now, when we talk about Abrahamic religions, the main characteristic is belief in God. Now, if you take Buddhism, Jainism, contrast these three religions, the main difference is Buddhism, Jainism, and also Advaita Vedanta. These religions do not have a concept of creator God. In Buddhist literature, we have this concept called Issara Nimmana Vada. Issara means Ishvara, Ishvara means God, Nimmana means Nirmana, creation. So the divine creation, the creation of the world, the universe by God. So this is a fundamental belief in one God. Now, you remember we had several discussions on characteristics, qualities and attributes of God. We had several discussions. The idea was for you to get sufficient understanding of the main things when we talk about Christianity, Judaism, Christianity and Islam. They are called Abrahamic religions because all these religions identify Abraham as one of the key persons in the Old Testament. So the belief in God, monotheism. God is eternal, omnipotent, omniscient and creator of the universe. And then God has the following properties: holiness, justice, omnibenevolence and omnipresence. Now God is holy, that means pure, sacred, and justice. God is considered to be a just God. Now, this is something very interesting when we look at theistic religions, God-centered religion. God is justice means God is the one final judge. Now, God's judgment, according to these religions, is final. That means each human being will be judged by God according to his or her deeds and faith. Now, in Judeo-Christian tradition, they do not believe in what we call concept of samsara, series of rebirth. That concept is not there. But what they have is only one birth. Now, when someone is dead, they are again resurrected from the dead at the end of the universe. Now, we will come to that later. But then at that moment, this aspect of justice, God as the final judge, is very important. because it is according to this belief, God is the one who really decides whether you go to eternal heaven, kingdom of God, or eternal hell. So that is why concept of justice. Now, justice is a main virtue of a judge. Okay, if you take a judge, or if you take any judiciary system, now their main virtue is justice, because you have to really give punishment or reward according to the deeds. So the just God means who is really impartial, just in attributing, the reward or punishment accordingly. Now, this is a key idea in any theistic religion. Now, for example, in the Buddhist literature, you don't find much accounting about justice. Even today, when we look at literature, it is theistic religions that talk much about justice. If you take Old Testament, the God is depicted, portrayed as a just God, because he gives punishment to people. When you punish, justice is the most important thing. And then when you come from Old Testament to Quran, this concept of justice is very much emphasized. God as a just God. Actually, this is why in the societies where Judeo-Christian tradition was powerful, they developed very elaborate systems of justice, because it comes from the religion. The idea is that God as the most just person, and then God's power is transferred to the king or the ruler. So rulers were also considered to be divine, and then also the rulers have the power to determine what is just. So the just punishments or just rewards. So you can see this concept of justice is very, widespread, prevalent, a powerful idea in Judeo-Christian tradition. As a result, concept of justice is also very important in Western tradition, because they have so much on this concept. Now, in that sense, in Buddhism, we don't have a concept of justice. Not that we don't have concept of justice associated with the Buddha. Concept of justice is not associated with the Buddha. Buddha has nothing to do with that, because Buddha is not a God who determines reward or punishment to people. Now, in Buddhism, what happens is you get results, vipaka, for your karmas. Now, the Buddhist view is that there is no some God or someone who is determining what you should get. Actually, according to Buddhist philosophy, it is your nature of the karma you perform that determines the nature of the result. Right? So it is an automatic thing. It is an automatic thing. There is a very well-known statement, Yadisang vapate bijang, tadisang harate phalang. Yadisang vapate bijang, tadisang harate phalang. You get the harvest according to the seed you are sowing. Yadisang vapate bijang, tadisang harate phalang. So whatever, if you sow paddy, then you get rice. So like that, depending on what you sow, you get the result. Then this is connected to the karma Kalyanakari kalyanam, papakari cha papakam. If you do good, kalyana, you get good. If you do bad, you get bad. So now this is very interestingly natural concept has been connected to the karma formation. So yadisang vapate bijam tadisam harate phalam. Kalyanakari kalyanam papakari cha papikam. Now the important thing here is these first two lines refer to something natural. Yadisang vapate bijang tadisang harate palang. The whatever the bija, seed you sow, tadisang harate palang. The fruit you get is according to that. So if you plant a mango seed, then of course you get mango. If you plant a jack seed, you get jack. So like that, depending. Now this is a natural thing. Once you plant a mango plant, you don't have to do anything else to get mangoes. Mangoes will come naturally because it depends on what you did. Now this natural phenomenon, this natural principle is applied to karma. Now karma is a psychological thing basically. Mental, verbal, physical and also mental. So kalyanakari kalyana. So you do something good, then you get good. Papakari cha papakam, you do bad, then you get bad. Now most important thing is in Buddhism, there is no any person who determines who gets what. Behind your karma, there is no judge. Okay? Behind your actions, there is no judge. The judge is the action itself. The moment you do something, its result is determined already. Now the Christian, Judeo-Christian tradition view is very different. Behind your act, there is God. So behind your act, there is God. The God determines according to your act what you get. Now you will think, how come God can be behind all our actions? God can, because He is omnipotent. He is all powerful. He can do anything. So however many people in the world, it doesn't really matter. So behind every action there is God. God determines whether it is good or bad. So this concept of God and the concept of justice associated with that is something very important. And you already know about the other characteristics we discussed fairly comprehensively, so I am not going to go into detail. So God has these characteristics, and also God has certain properties. Properties means characteristics are basic. Properties are like what we say adjectives, like certain qualities. Now the next thing is the Christian concept of God. Although Christianity is Abrahamic religion, Christian concept of God is different from other two religions. In fact, both Judaism and Islam reject the Christian concept. Now the Christian concept, although it is monotheistic, belief that God is three co-eternal, consubstantial hypostases. Co-eternal means they exist simultaneously. You cannot really separate one from the other time-wise. Co-eternal. Consubstantial. Consubstantial means made of the same substance. So they exist simultaneously. They are made of the same substance. And hypostasis. the underlying substance distinct from attributes. Person of Jesus combining both divine and human characteristics. Actually, the Jesus is considered to be combining both human. These concepts are in Christianity. Of course, these concepts come from say, may all beings be happy. What is in that sense, they say being is the same. Now, here what is happening is the Christian wrong. So therefore, Jewish people didn't believe. God. So the Christianity in that sense, one God. the countries like Burma, Sri Lanka, the one important reason apart from colonialism, stability. Okay. Now these are very you understand? Like even in a simple